Hi all, welcome to another video, and in this video I'm just going to try and talk through everything as naturally as it may come to me, instead of pausing the video and then trying to re-record and so on and so forth. I do that quite a bit, so all my videos are just like a single take with just me talking, and a lot of times what I do is that I start making the video, I start talking, and then at some point I realized, oh wait a second, I made too many mistakes. So I stopped the whole thing, and then I restart recording, restart the video recording. So it doesn't really matter if I'm 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in. If at any point I feel like that I'm rambling on and I'm talking about too much nonsense, and I'm completely going off topic, I just stop and I restart. So I'm going to try and avoid that for this video. So yeah, welcome to another video. I'm not sure if I said that before, but if I said that, so be it. For those of you who have seen my videos before, you can see things are a little different. I mean, I look a bit different. I've got this beard and all. So there's a reason behind it. I mean, in addition to it being winter here in Australia, it's really cold, and to be perfectly honest, the winters here are heaps colder than the winters in European countries or the US or any of these cold nations in the northern hemisphere. Simply because all those countries are very well prepared for the winter. They've got these hot water pipes and all that. Here we've got absolutely nothing. And now that I'm talking about it, I do realize that I may have talked about this in one of my earlier videos. So anyway, yeah, so we were at the beard, right? Yep, so the beard. A lot has happened in the last couple of months, and yes, I did make that video with about my trip to India, where I spent about 2 months, and then why it was such a good trip for me, and why I learned so much about India, and how I realized a lot of things, and how fascinated and amazed I was that of how far India has come just in the last decade or so, which is amazing. So yeah, but a lot has happened, and the events leading up to my trip to India. So I was working at a bank, that I would have mentioned that in the video, in one of my earlier videos, that I was working at one of the big banks here in Australia, and as you would guess, it's a bank, so it's obviously extremely political and all. And what happens is when you're caught at the wrong side of it, it may not always be a good experience for you. It may just be a very toxic work environment for you. But I mean, that's work, isn't it? I mean, that's a job. Like, no job is 100% perfect, and there are things about every job that you may not be happy about. So but that's fine, because that's the job. That's just the job, and in our minds we accept whatever that comes with it, because it's something that we need to do, and it's something that we need to put up with, because at the end of the day, we are getting paid. So, and that's what matters. We need money to live our lives, and so on and so forth. So before, one of the events leading up to my trip to India was that I resigned from my role, and it wasn't because of any reason other than the fact that I really just needed some personal time off, because I got news of family being extremely unwell, and plus in my family, we've seen quite a bit of tragedy since the COVID lockdowns and stuff. So in the last 3 years, we've seen a fair bit of tragedy in our family, and although every time something has happened, I've been I've just had to sit in the background, and then not. I felt a bit powerless, and I wouldn't be able to. I could not do anything about it. Like, I mean, there's people there, and I want to help them, and for the sake of um, not only being for them but also for the sake of my own peace of mind, my own mental health. But I was unable to do that, and so obviously one of the things that I wanted to address um, by resigning was to actually be able to do that and to you know be there for my family. And something else is, well, um, how do I put this? I just lost hope. If all of this doesn't make sense to you, or if the story threads are not connecting, that's fine. It's intentional. I mean, if it feels like I'm all over the place, then that's what it is. So, um, towards the end of last year, and the reason why the reason why I was doing a lot of things that I was doing last year, and the reason why I was saving up some money and everything, and the reason why I got my driving license for and like for the first time in 20 plus years, I'm driving, and I'm driving. So and then there was a reason for that. So the driving, the getting the license, saving up, and all of that. So all of these things were leading up to a certain event that I had plans for, and unfortunately for me, that just fell apart. That fell apart in a really, in a big way, and this was just way too traumatic for me. Um, and I still haven't been able to come out of it. Um, I cannot believe of where I am right now. The state of my life right now, as opposed to what I had in my mind, what it would be just last February or March for that matter. It's yeah, yeah, I don't know, like I'm not sure. Um, that's why when some of these things happen, I stopped making my videos. I stopped doing a lot of things that I was doing. For example, you know, working on that file sharing app repository and so on, and yeah, I stopped a lot of that. I just did. Like I said, I had a purpose in life, and all of a sudden, that purpose was just not there, and it's taken me quite a bit of time to try and find myself again, and to try and find out about all the things that I used to enjoy and all the things that used to make me happy. Um, yeah. So the state of it right now these days, since my return from my trip overseas to India, which I mean, in the earlier video that I made, I only shared certain positive aspects of India, in that like how it's advanced and um, the opportunities that the country presents. Should you want to do any sort of, should you have any sort of entrepreneurial ambitions? But obviously, there's a whole different side of it, um, which which only applies if you're someone of Indian origin and who still has family in India. There are certain aspects of it that are just not that easy to live with, and when you spend an extended amount of time, especially after living away from all of that to a different in a completely different country like Australia, it's not easy for you to adjust to all of it, and there's going to be heaps of challenges. And the the longer you spend, the longer you stay there, the more profound the effect of all of those things will be on your mind, and that is still something that I'm coping with. look, it's absolutely fine. This is absolutely normal. It's just that because I haven't been living in India for many years, um, I simply don't know. I simply don't know how to handle some of these things, and I simply don't know. I simply can't stop it from having a certain effect on my mind or a certain effect on my mental health, if so to speak. So yeah, the the family tragedies, um, my own my own my own goals as of last year, and just how things fell apart, and then my trip overseas to India. So all of these three things combined, there's a lot on my mind right now, and what this means is that there's a lot that I need to process, and I'm getting out of it bit by bit. It's getting better. For example, now I do feel like going out a little bit more because for the last month and a half, um, I prefer not to leave my apartment. I prefer not to see anyone. I prefer to just stay at home, just sit on the couch, watch some TV, or even not even with the TV being on, whatever show or movie is on, I'm not really paying attention. It's just on. It's just in the background, and then I generally avoid talking to people because yeah, I just avoid talking to people because if I talk to someone and they'll say something, they'll pass a comment, and obviously they'll be very innocent in how they pass that comment. They'll obviously mean whatever they say, they'll mean it in good spirits. But I just can't process it right now. For me, it will just be like, why? Or you just so yeah, I'm dealing with all that, and as I mentioned, things are a bit better now, I guess, than they were about well a month ago, month and a half ago. So hopefully I'll try and organize my time a bit more, and I'll try to spend more time on the file sharing app, and I'll try to flesh it out into a complete product and deploy it on AWS and share a link with everyone. These days, in addition to watching TV and all that, I just spend time on doing random lead code problems, and that too, I take ages on each. Even those medium problems, I take like ages on them because my mind is not there. I'll take more than like an hour and a half or something on a medium problem because I'm half the time I'm not even thinking or I'm just distracted. Anyway, to talk more about that, there will be a completely different video, and I'll save it for that. For this one, I just wanted to um, make this relatively quick little video. Well, I know I've been going on for like a little more than 13 minutes, but I mean, but in my mind, I still haven't said half the stuff that I want to say, so this is a shorter video. Um, so yeah, I mean, watch this space. I'll share more videos. I'll talk more about um, some of the tech stuff that I'm working with, and in addition to that, I'll also talk a few more things about my life in general. So I do intend to share the um, just exactly what happened when I said that things fell apart. So I'll share a bit more on that in one of the future videos when I'm in the mindset and when I've got the ability to be able to talk about it. So until then, I wish you well. Thank you for watching this, and live long and prosper. As usual, as always, live long and prosper. Between the two of us, between the two of us, for you watching it and me, I hope you're doing better. I hope you're having a better time than I am. So, cheers.